Yeah, we're renaming the show. Welcome to Locked On Parker Meadows.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Friday, September 6th, 2024. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. Prize Picks, run your game. You know who runs every game? That would be Parker freaking Meadows. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully we can send you off into your weekend with some positive vibes here. What a fantastic night Thursday night was. NFL is back. Fantastic football game over there. And then you have Parker Meadows saving my life. Just absolutely incredible. A go-ahead grand slam down to the final strike of the ball game on the road. Oppo Taco down 3. Parker Meadows. Unbelievable. Unbelievable moment. Unbelievable inning. I was going to say unbelievable ball game. It really wasn't. It was kind of a gross and brutal ball game. Vibes were about to be really bad. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll talk about that later and what went wrong. But for 8 innings, this was brutal. And Parker Meadows put the team on his back. Grand slam in the 9th. So, I mean, we can just, what went right? Parker Meadows, great, got that out of the way. The wildest parts about this, parts plural, is that there is so many different angles to view this moment, right? From a pure baseball perspective, this gives you a lot of optimism, not only because it was an awesome go-ahead grand slam in the 9th inning, but this was a fastball, an 101 mile an hour fastball up and away to Parker Meadows. If you have watched this show for any length of time, you are aware of the holes in Parker Meadows' swing, right? And we talked about ad nauseum before he got sent down that fastballs up and away was a giant hole in his strike zone. He swung and missed at fastballs up and away all the time. It was a huge issue, right? Spin, low and in, fastball velocity, up and away. So for him not only to do what he did, but to do it against a pitch that he has notoriously struggled with all season is beautiful. And it continues to not only be just incredible, which I've now said 15 times, but I'm going to continue to reiterate because that's how incredible the moment was. But it also, from a bigger picture standpoint, gets you, reminds you, okay, this dude made legitimate adjustments when he was down in Toledo and has come up and been a completely reinvented baseball player. Absolutely phenomenal piece of hitting. And big picture, right? Then you start thinking about, okay, just close your eyes unless you're driving. Do not close your eyes if you're driving. But if you're not, operating a motor vehicle, close your eyes and be your own judge there. But just take a trip or a walk down memory lane here with me. Okay. Let's grab a ginger ale and go on a walk here. Think of all of the best moments the Detroit Tigers have had in the last 2 seasons, okay? 2024 and 2023, in the Parker Meadows era. Think about all of the best moments this team has had. How many of those involve Parker Meadows? Right. Are you saying, wow, all of them? Because kind of me too. You have this, the walk-off grand slam. Okay, you have that just happened. Great. Short memory. We remember that one. The Astros walk-off home run. As Matt Shepard put it, his first career RBI. Great call, great moment. The Little League Classic just a few weeks ago. Parker Meadows walk off against the Yankees in a nationally televised game. Little League Classic. The Mariners in August. Robbed home run. National media. Right. And like obviously last season you had the Miguel Cabrera's final series and you know, credit where credit is due. This was pointed out to me by a couple people online. The Nick Maton walk-off against the Giants was one of the coolest moments of that season as well. But like I just listed off, you know, 6 or 7 of the coolest moments the Tigers have had in the last 2 years, and over half of them not only involved Parker Meadows, but were Parker Meadows. It's not like he was like kind of involved in all of them. He just was them. He was the moment. He's awesome. And you know, people talk about the it factor. I find it hard to believe, you know, if you can qualify it, Parker Meadows has it. And you know, I know I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, and I'm trying to stay in the moment and really just kind of be present in how awesome this is. How lucky are we, man? Get to be alive at the same time as the beautiful game of baseball, rooting for this team that has brought us nothing but pain for almost a decade. But golly, get to see cool moments like this. And the thing that I can't get out of my head is just I cannot wait to see what this version of Parker Meadows does in 162 games. Think about it, right? Really think about it. Think of what this dude could actually do in a full season. And again, I'm trying really hard not to let one swing just like have my expectations for him explode and just like go over the top. And I look back at this, you know, in May of next year, and I'm like, wow, I crazy overreacted to one really cool moment. But like we've been on the Parker Meadows hype train on this show for the better part of a year and a half, 2 years now. And I still, you know, I'm not saying that this dude's going to be an 850 OPS hitter and be like one of the better hitters in this lineup. But he's moved to the leadoff spot, has not flustered at all, has not wavered at all since getting moved up into that leadoff spot. And I guess in this game he hit 9, so that's kind of hilarious. But they faced a lefty, that's why he hit 9. Against righties, he hits leadoff and has not wavered. And his production has remained really good. And his numbers since getting called up, since coming back from injury, are crazy good. He's nearly an automatic stolen base anytime he gets to first base. He walks a really solid amount. He's cut the swing and miss down substantially since getting demoted earlier in the season. He has the potential to legitimately be one of the better defensive center fielders in the sport, elite base runner. And this is not just like a new to major league thing. This is his profile. Might have 20 home run power if he played 162 games. And now he's in the lineup against lefties. He's getting opportunities against lefties because he's hitting lefties a little bit better. What did I say earlier? Parker Meadows is the moment. Okay. We spent a whole segment on Parker Meadows. There was 9 innings played. Let's talk about some other things that went right. We actually have a lot of stuff to talk about as well off the field that happened on Thursday and Wednesday that we have to get to. And then we'll probably end, to be completely honest with you, by talking about Parker Meadows again. We will do all of those things right after this. Got to talk to y'all today about our friends over at Ibata. It's summertime, which means it's barbecue season. You can stock up on all your grilling favorites and earn cash back on every purchase when you use Ibata. So you don't have to choose between burgers or hot dogs. You can just get both, baby. Ibata is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. You can earn on hundreds of items from groceries, beauty supplies, even toys, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 a year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing, or the fancy dinner that you've been craving. Other apps give you points that really don't amount to much, and with Ibotta, you can earn cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, PayPal, gift cards, or anything else. Simply add the offers on the app, upload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. Right now, Ibotta is offering listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta and using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store, Google Play Store, and download the free Ibotta app and start earning cash back and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store using code LOCKEDONMLB. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2 of Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, as always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We will, of course, be back on Monday recapping the series against the Oakland A's, as well as anything else surrounding the Tigers organization over the weekend. Also, after you make us your first listen, make Locked On MLB with Sully your second listen. Host Paul Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully, he's getting you prepared for the playoffs. And are those Tigers out of the wild card picture? You know, it's unlikely, okay? It's the opposite of a Baltimore Ravens tight end. However, with this home run, they remain 5 games back. Check out Locked On MLB. Again, available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, just like this show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So let's talk about other things that went right in this game. One, the walk-off grand slam. That was pretty cool. So Parker Meadows definitely something that we should bring up. So Tyler Holton, I thought, was absolutely phenomenal. And this was such a big moment, right? This is a 1-run game. You've been down for 9 innings, essentially. Actually, literally. The Padres scored in the first. You were losing for 9 innings. And to get that lead back and then go to Tyler Holton, you're not going to go to Foley. He's pitched a lot lately. They go to Tyler Holton, and he's facing some righties, right? This wasn't like, oh, we're going to Holton because there's 3 lefties due up. No. You're facing a lot of righties, and Tyler Holton has no fear. I'm convinced that dude has just rewired his brain to not actually know what anxiety or pressure is. It's incredible. I envy that to an extent. It was an unbelievable performance. Like, Parker Meadows is obviously the star of the show, and we're going to continue talking about him because he is the star of the show. But I do not want it to get overlooked how pinpoint and surgical Tyler Holton was in that 9th inning. And Xander Bogaerts dominated this game. He absolutely owned the Tigers, so you give up the hit there. Outside of that, again, like, actually surgical. That cutter low and away to righties I talk about all the time. I don't know how anyone hits it ever. For real, I don't know how that's possible to hit. It's 90 on the black, low and away, and it looks like it's just going to be a ball outside the entire time. And then magically it's not. Tyler Holton, not bad at his job either. Kenta Maeda, only an inning in 2/3, but of perfect baseball. Did not allow a walk, did not give up a hit. Perfect ball for just under 2 innings. Had a strikeout in there as well. I think that is something we didn't talk about. I did not bring up, and is kind of an unsung hero is not the right word. A nice side effect of Casey Mize coming back as well is that Maeda now, if you don't want him to pitch like 4, 5, 6 innings, you don't necessarily have to. And then when Olsen comes back, we'll talk about that a little bit later. That even opens the door a little bit more for that, right? Like, Maeda can truly be like a 1 or 2 inning guy, and maybe the velocity goes up a little bit and the stuff gets a little better, and he finds a role there. That's a pretty darn expensive, middle long reliever, but it's at least, if he's effective, it's at least finding a role where he can be effective, which, for the first half of the season, the Tigers couldn't do. So, want to tip of the cap there. And then Vanasco, obviously perfect ball as well in just an inning of work. His Tigers debut, I believe, right? That's his first outing with the Detroit Tigers off the top of my head. I think that's right. So yeah, like the bullpen was nails. 0 earned runs by the Tigers. Bullpen, Casey Mize obviously gives up 3 runs. We'll talk about him in a second. But even he settled down, right? Those 3 runs were all in the first 2 innings. Settled down, calmed down, was pretty smooth the rest of the outing. Did allow a base runner in his last inning of work. And then the Tigers bullpen, man, just continues to really great start of the season, brutal middle of the season, has been really good again lately. So kind of a roller coaster of a season for this pen, but they've gotten a lot of really good production out of players that I don't think we were necessarily expecting to get really good production out of. What went wrong? Well, no surprise to anybody that watched this game over Thursday Night Football. The offense was putrid for 8 innings. That's really all there is to it. Like this was I can't actually oversell. I can't understate how bad the offense actually was for 8 innings. This was not like, oh man, they're just getting unlucky or oh no, it was completely brutal. It was not good. Martin Perez dominates the Tigers. I don't know what we did to this guy. I don't know who offended him, who pissed this dude off in the Tigers organization, but he pitches like prime Maddox whenever he sees the Old English D in the batter's box. And yeah, credit to him, because it was not only just an outing where he was pitching really well and, it was like a few innings. No, it was he pitched into the 7th and honestly it was efficient. He still was, I think, only at like 80 or so pitches when he got pulled from that game. Like if it wasn't for the base runner, that's kind of an oxymoron there. But like if it wasn't for the base runner, like he could have, kept going. Like he didn't get pulled due to the pitch count being high or a lack of effectiveness. He was very efficient. So yeah, really just brutal. And like Kerry Carpenter was up in 2 very high leverage situations. AJ Hinch got a lot of heat for not putting Kerry Carpenter in the lineup to start the game against the lefty. Then Kerry Carpenter was in the 2 biggest moments of the ball game, obviously before the Parker Meadows grand slam, and did not come through in either of them. Went 0 for 2, didn't even put the ball in play. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Righty on the mound for both of those situations and strikes out both times. That's not me like slighting Kerry Carpenter. He's the best hitter on the team. Love Carp to death, but like that, it was just, that's how the game went. Like even in that is what you want, right? If I had to give you a situation, okay, if I had to give you any situation, hey, game on the line, late, right? You need runs. You need to tie or take the lead here late with 2 outs in an inning. What situation do you want? I would bet most of this fan base would say Kerry Carpenter with a righty on the mound. And he just didn't come through. And obviously that's not me just picking on him either. That the entire lineup was brutal. The only person that really was consistently good was Andy Ibanez. Put together some really good at-bats all game and was consistently putting the ball in play and hitting the ball hard. Colt Keith, I guess, got on base twice, hitting a walk. Jake Rogers, 1 hit. Malloy, 1 hit, but 2 strikeouts. Riley Green, 0 for, but with a walk. It was Matt Vierling, 0 for 5. Just tough. You got sliced and diced by Martin Perez again. But, the coolest part? It doesn't matter. Parker Meadows, baby. Let's talk Casey Mize. He goes 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 2 homers. Against his ERA is now 4.3 on the season. I don't know if I, feel strongly enough to make sure like he has to be in what went wrong. I didn't think it was an awful performance. It just, it wasn't super endearing either. Like it wasn't super inspiring at the same time. The thing that I did appreciate is that the mid-game adjustments. He got popped for 3 runs in the first 2 innings, but then didn't allow a run the rest of his outing. So I think that does mean something that is meaningful. I did really like the slider. I thought it had good shape to it. The location of it was kind of sporadic. He hung a couple of them, but I thought it had good shape. My complaints, I guess we'll say, with Casey Mize continue to be what they have been, and that's just like the fastball velocity went up. That's great. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses on it. The slider looks better. That's great. He doesn't get a lot of swings and misses on it, and the splitter, he doesn't get a lot of swings and misses on it. Like it's just been the issue since he broke into the majors. Like that's not a new thing, and it unfortunately didn't really change too much post injury so far. So I thought this was kind of like a gritty, grinded out outing. I appreciated the in-game adjustments. Like I said, I think when he was out there, he just kind of looked around and went, okay, I'm going to go for soft contact rather than swing and miss. And it worked for him. There's a place for that in the league if he can stay healthy. But it's if he can't consistently get swings and misses, it's going to prevent him from ever being a top half the rotation type of pitcher. And that's kind of where we are with his career arc at the present moment. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much it for the ball game. Let's talk stuff. We got a lot of stuff to go over. And then we'll talk about Parker Meadows again because, like, how can you not, right? That was just so cool. Let's talk about all of that right after this. Got to talk to you all today about our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Look, they're giving you basically free money here. 1 Caleb Williams passing yard, 1. Gets you 1 win in your Prize Picks lineup every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in the entire month of September. 4 weeks of free W's. So don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. Wake me up when September ends and this deal will be gone. You can now also win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Great football game. Okay, was 2 screening it. Obviously, most of my focus on your Detroit Tigers, but how can you not love that Thursday night football game as well? And Prize Picks is a great place to get in on enjoying the action over for football season. So download the Prize Picks app and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's Locked On MLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment. I don't even want to leave. I just want to keep talking about this forever. Golly, what a night Thursday night was. Stuff. Got a lot of off-the-field stuff I want to kind of cover in this segment here, so we'll get through as much as I can. Gage Workman, huge tip of the cap, all the credit in the world. Gage Workman was drafted the same year as Spencer Torkelson. He also went to Arizona State, just like Spencer Torkelson. And initially there was like, oh, he's a really athletic, good defender. And he also has some pop. He struck out more than like anybody I've ever seen. And so much so that at one point last year, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, but at some point in the last 20 months, he was put on the development list in the minors. That is a list that's only available in the minors where you can put a player on there. They're not a part of the active roster and they go and just practice. Like it's not like there's no injury designation. There's no like, it's not like a family matter that they have to attend to. It's not the paternity list. Like it's literally just like, hey, you're struggling. Go like practice for 10 days. And he was put on that and he was struggling mightily. And there was a point early this year or late last year where people were talking about Gage Workman not like getting cut and getting released from the organization. And he is now the Eastern League Player of the Month. He has been crushing the baseball. And that is awesome. So huge props to the Tigers development organization, part of the organization. Metzler, everybody that's involved with the development. The coaching down in AA, right? I mean, has been very noteworthy and very newsworthy over the last couple of years because they've been really good. A lot of credit there, but obviously the most credit to Gage Workman. Do not give up. Like, just even if he doesn't become a major leaguer and he doesn't become a productive major leaguer, to not give up like that, and when your back is against the wall, to punch back is just so inspiring and awesome. So shout out to Gage Workman, man. No matter what happens from here on out, awesome adjustments, and how can you not root for him? Jackson Jobe on Thursday night pitched, always noteworthy and newsworthy in this organization and this fan base. Had 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. 7 innings is the highlighted part of this. That is a career high for Jackson Jobe. We're almost here. He's very close. He's very close. And I think that next year he will probably start off the season in Toledo, and then we will see him in the majors. And that dang near is going to bring a tear to my sweet, cold-hearted eyes. I don't even know what I just said, but I'm so excited for Jackson Jobe. And he looked unhittable. 3 hits and 1 run, 2 walks, whatever. I don't care. He looked unhittable. The fastball looked great. The slider looked phenomenal. He's going to be really darn good. Also, cool highlight, Max Clark scored from first base on a single. Go watch the highlight. It's all over Twitter. Really awesome stuff. Like, he's an electric factory. And that 70, 75, 80 grade, whatever grade the prospect people are giving his speed is legit. He's an electric factory. Was fired up after scoring the run. Awesome stuff. It's all coming together, baby. Joey Wentz claimed off of waivers by the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was DFA'd by the Tigers earlier this week. So that officially marks an end to the Joey Wentz era. It's not surprising at all that he was claimed. At the end of the day, he is still a left-handed pitcher that's only 25, 26 years old and throws 95, 96. Like, some team is going to take a chance on that. The Pirates have been really good with their pitching development, have a lot of really good young pitchers. So he will join that major league team, and we'll see what he can do down the stretch here for the Pirates. Wish Joey Wentz nothing but the best. I have zero issue with the Tigers' decision to let him go. I think it was the right decision. I completely agree with it. Clearly wasn't working here. But I do still wish him the best, because once upon a time, I was very, very high on Joey Wentz. Pre-Tommy John, when that trade initially happened and he was still in Double-A. I really had some pretty high hopes for Joey Wentz, so I'm hoping that he can figure it out over in Pittsburgh. Reese Olson, his first rehab start down in Toledo. 2 innings of pretty good baseball, 1 strikeout, 1 hit against, no runs. Only 2 innings. He's going to take a few of these. Look, if he can make 2 starts at the major league level, 3 starts at the major league level before the end of the season, that's a win. Just get him in there. If the Tigers mess around and are even remotely close to the wild card here in the last few weeks, he's going to be a nice piece to have back. And, even if you're scared of letting him just go 5, 6, 7 innings, Reese Olson out of the bullpen would be pretty dang nasty. 2 or 3 inning, reliever with that slider and that fastball and that changeup would look pretty sweet. Last thing I want to talk about before we get back to Parker Meadows, Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman extended by the San Francisco Giants for a lot of money and a lot of years. So clearly I am eating crow a little bit on my opinion of Matt Chapman over the winter. For those who I've been wrong plenty in my life. I will be wrong plenty more. I do not run away from my incorrect takes. They are permanent, as the internet does. But clearly I'm eating crow a little bit on that. He's had a pretty darn good year over in San Francisco and would very much be the best third baseman in this organization right now. And you would be first in line to extend him. I'm not trying to double down on an already incorrect take here, but that's a lot of years. I have no interest in paying Matt Chapman when he's, 37 or 38 or however long that contract's going to go, years old. Eventually, he will not be as valuable defensively, and eventually the offense, I don't even need to say eventually, the offense has just been inconsistent for 3 or 4 years now. So, credit to him. I love when players get paid. I don't even disagree with it from the Giants' perspective. They want to keep this competitive window open for as long as they possibly can. More power to him, more power to them. I'm not saying like the Giants are idiots. That's not the point I'm trying to convey. Go watch Locked On Giants, by the way. One of the best shows that this network has to offer. Great breakdown there. But am I like heartbroken that the Tigers aren't going to get a chance to give Chapman a 6 or 7 year deal? No, I'm really not. And that was like the first thing everybody asked me. Everybody's tweeting at me and is like, "Oh, did you see? Like, what are we? What's the opinion? What's the take on that?" That's kind of where I stand. Am I upset that we don't get a chance to give Chapman a 3 or 4 year deal? Sure, absolutely. I just made an episode 3 days ago about how I think the Tigers need an everyday third baseman. And Matt Chapman, I have loved since he was in Oakland, right? I would have had no issues with that after the season he put together this year. But if that was going to be the price tag, I'm okay. I think there's a better allocation of resources. I know there's some people in this fan base that are just like, it's not your money. I'm upset that Matt Chapman's not going to be here. Don't care about, the rest of this yapping about like the years and the money and whatnot. Fair enough. Like if you're just simply like, hey, I wanted that player and now I can't get him. Touche. Like I don't have a counter to that. Fair enough. But, big picture wise, I'm not necessarily heartbroken that the Tigers don't get an opportunity to match that. That being said, still go get a third baseman this year. Oakland this weekend. Skubal against Mitch Spence in game 1 on Friday tonight. Then Tarek Skubal, that just said that. Then Brent Herter, rather, against TBD on Saturday. And then TBD for the Tigers against JT Ginn for the A's on Sunday. This is not last year's Oakland A's, but they're still not very good. I think they're about 19 games under 500. Time of this recording, 19 or 20 games under. But we've played the White Sox this year, and they're not that. And they're not the A's from last year either. Got some decent pitching. Lawrence Butler's awesome. He's one of my favorite players in baseball. They got some decent production from some kids. So, not gimme games. And honestly, in Oakland, the Tigers have been awful for the last, 8 years outside of the playoffs. So, kind of no gimme games, period, when you're in Oakland for the Detroit Tigers. That's all I got, folks. Parker Meadows is the best. It's just so awesome. Like, not only was it an awesome at bat from a pure baseball perspective, but it also, right, like it put the team back above 500 as opposed to being below 500, right? If that ball is caught on the warning track, the Tigers right now are 70 and 71. They're 6 out of the wild card if you're still scoreboard or standings watching, but they're a game under 500. Now they are a game over 500. And did not lose any ground in the standings. Like, just baseball is beautiful, and for as frustrating as it is, and for as little joy as my team has provided me and us over the last decade or the last 8 years, baseball is perfect. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers who do make us your first listen every day. We will, of course, be back on Monday recapping this A series and talking about anything else surrounding the Tigers organization. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. Have a fantastic weekend. Signing off from Locked On Parker Meadows. Go Tigers, baby.